Back to my channel. This is Butterfly Spirit 314. So guys, I wanted to tell you about a experience I had while reading the introduction to the book Journeys Out of the Body by Robert A. Monroe. A lot of you guys may be familiar with this book if you are interested in astral projecting, or if you're like actively trying to astral project, or maybe you've been successful with astral projection and you just want to know a lot more about astral projection. So the way I learned about astral projection is from my boyfriend, and he watched Ryan Cropper's videos and things like that, and he learned a lot about astral projection, and he talked to me about it. So what I want to tell you guys about is very interesting. So I was just reading a little bit of Journeys Out of the Body by Robert A. Monroe. And I was reading about the part where, in the introduction, where it talks about, it's the section where it mentions like ESP. And it's not exclusive about ESP, like extrasensory perception, but it talks about the fact that things like telekinesis, clairvoyance, psychokinesis, like, think of these things like the clairs, like if you look up stuff like clairvoyance, claircognizance, precognition, all of this stuff. Like if you look up, like if you go on to YouTube and you look up like videos about this stuff, there's a lady, her channel, I think it's called Spiritual Awakening, and she talks about like different stuff or whatever. I don't know if she's like gone through these experiences or not, but she's pretty knowledgeable. If you go to like a channel like Spirit Science or whatever, and there's a lot of channels out there where they're going to talk about these different things. But Spiritual Awakening, that lady I know for sure, like she talks about it. So anyway, I'm going to get to my experience here. So what happened is I was reading in that section, and where it said, it made the statement that precognition, clairvoyance, telekinesis, psychokinesis are not real at all. Okay, so it was basically saying that none of the psychic abilities are real. And I know for certain precognition is real because I did it in the past, and it was like really amazing to me, and I really couldn't believe it, and it was real. Okay, precognition is real. I've done it. I have the experience of doing it, and I know it's real. Before anything even happened, I said what was going to happen, and it happened, and it was really shocking. So we're going to get to the part about astral projection being real. Okay. Now, I'll tell you, I did not astral project. That didn't happen. Okay. But what did happen is when I was in that section reading where it says none of them is real, meaning precognition, clairvoyance, telekinesis, where it's just saying none of the psychic abilities, none of them are real. What happened is somebody, I'm sure it was an astral projector, because when I said none of them are real, so all of those abilities I mentioned, what happened is I heard a tap, 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 tap on the wall. Okay? Now, nobody's at home with me right now. So when I heard the tap, 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 tap on the wall, when I heard it, right? Nobody's at home with me. Most people would be spooked out, right? Most people would really be. I think what made me kind of just observe it and be like, oh, that happened, and I was kind of cool with it. The thing is, I meditated last night, so I think that is having an effect on me, because I just literally woke up not too long ago. And like normally I would be like, I would have turned around and screamed or something like that, but the meditation for me is working because it kept me calm, right? It kept me calm. So when I had heard the tap, 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 tap on the wall, or yeah, when I heard the taps on the wall, I didn't look at the wall, right? Nobody's home with me. What I wanted to do too is I wanted to see, okay, could it be anything else, right? Could it be anything, you know? Um, After I heard the taps on the wall, I had this feeling that the person who tapped on the wall could see me, and they could see me rather clearly. And I'm pretty undressed at home. So whoever it is who saw me would see a little bit of my nakedness. And I had this feeling that that person could see me. And that wasn't enough to get me to jump up and be stirred because I was reading, right? And so I just kind of calmly just stayed in the chair, you know, and I thought that maybe it could be somebody I know. And then like I had the thought that, you know, maybe it's somebody, you know, somebody else. But whoever the heck it is, whoever it is, like, I'm going to tell you some tests I did, you know, after I heard the tap, tap, tap on the wall. So some tests I did was I got up to look at our gerbil cage to see if the gerbils were making the noise. And it wasn't the gerbils. They didn't make any of the noise. They were asleep. Sound asleep in a little hole they made in the cage, like out of some paper and like paper towel or whatever. And they didn't make the noise. And the craziest thing is the tap, 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 tap on the wall. It was like literally right next to me. And it was on the wall that is right next to the computer. Okay? And so it's pretty crazy, right? And so I wanted to see, maybe it's, you know, a squirrel that was on top of the roof or, you know, got into the roof. So I've been hearing a lot of squirrels in the roof. Like they've been like running back and forth over the roof and stuff like that. They've even gotten into the attic. And so I wanted to see, hey, is it the squirrels in the attic? Maybe one of them got so far as to the attic over this room. Okay. So I know I can hear the squirrels pretty well in the kitchen, right? So my first thought was, oh, maybe it was a squirrel, right? That's what I first thought when I was hearing the tap, 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 tap. However, I went into the kitchen and I stood there for a moment to see if I could hear the squirrels. Because if the squirrels were making noise that were in the attic, I would literally hear them at once, right? However, when I stood in the kitchen, in the spot where I can hear the squirrels rather easily, I heard nothing. I heard silence. So it wasn't the derbies and it wasn't the squirrels. They were in the attic, okay? It was neither of them. There's nobody home with me. So guess what? That led me to understand that somebody astral projected and tap, 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 tap on the wall. Okay? And the tapping on the wall was as real as me tapping on the wall. Okay? And, you know, it was a series of taps. And the crazy thing is that I heard it, it happened, and I think whoever it was did not like the idea that scientists can't prove or think it's not real that psychic abilities and lucid dreaming and astral projection are being dismissed, right? And that somebody considers them not real, okay? So obviously, whoever the astral projector was, they didn't like that. They didn't like it. And they wanted to call my attention to like the fact that they are real. And now I know astral projection is real because there's no way that, like I'm going to say this, there's no way that they're not real because they are real. They are definitely real. The clairs are real. Lucid dreaming is real. Astral projection is real. Because how else did somebody tap, tap, tap on the wall? If nobody's home with me and I hear that, right? And you might say, well, oh, it's probably a ghost. Well, if it's a ghost, like, why is a ghost trying to get my attention? You know what I mean? Like, most of the time when I've encountered a ghost is typically, they typically are, I think ghosts typically don't try to get your attention. I think I had an experience when I was a kid where I encountered a ghost and the ghost was upset. So my understanding is ghosts are usually mean, okay? But it wasn't a ghost. It was someone astral projecting. They didn't like the fact that science dismisses the fact that the psychic abilities that we have, and they just, whoever it was, didn't like the fact of it being dismissed that, precognition, telekinesis, psychokinesis, clairvoyance, and, ESP, astral projection, lucid dreaming are dismissed by scientists. Like, they don't like that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think whoever it was who was trying to tell me, who tapped on the wall, I mean, obviously they astral projected, because I just read about in Journeys Out of the Body where somebody can astral project and they can see what's going on in someone else's home, okay? And they can follow what's happening and they can describe this person to a T. So whoever it was who astral projected to our house and tapped on the wall, whoever it was, like, they want me to know that it's real. And I believe astral projection is real now. And I want to learn a lot more about it, and maybe one day try astral projection so I can learn more, And I just want to tell you guys about this experience. It's really cool. And I hope you guys believe more in this too. I was reading something a couple days ago about astral projection, and people were saying, oh, it's not real or whatever. And from their experience and stuff, some person was like talking about some Christian stuff, and I'm like, well, if somebody's a Christian, why the hell are they messing with astral projection? Because, like, astral projection is clearly it's not gonna fall in line with Christianity, right? So, I found it shocking that person was responding to a question about astral projection. But I know astral projection is real. I know it's real, and it's been proven to me to be real. So I'm more interested, and I'm definitely going to read more of Journeys Out of the Body by Robert A. Monroe. I'm definitely going to do that. I am curious about who the astral projector is. What I feel like I'd have to do in order to know who that astral projector is I'd have to astral project, and then I'd be able to see that person. And I have a feeling that if I were to astral project and find out who that person is, then it's gonna, a whole new world's gonna open up to me. And I think it will be cool because, if I can astral project, I think I'd be able to help people too. So that's pretty cool. So I hope this video has been pretty informative for you guys. For me, astral projection is real. And I had a lot of signs, synchronicities, and things that are, and like forces that are pointing me to the fact that astral projection is real. So I'm going to learn a lot more about it, but I just want to tell you about this really cool experience. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you guys like this, and thanks for watching.